Most woodworkers I know have spouses, and we love them very much. I know I do. But most husbands and wives who don't do woodworking don't want a lot of money spent on woodworking. And I guess that makes sense. But you have to ask yourself, did Sam Maloof let his wife tell him what wood he was allowed to buy? Does Cindy Drozda ask her husband before she buys a new bowl gouge? No, I don't think so. You see, you need to remember that you're an artist, and it's important for you to get your art out into the world. And that requires some sacrifices. Now, most of the time, you're the one making those sacrifices, but sometimes you're going to cut a couple of corners. Maybe you're going to buy some things that the husband or wife wouldn't approve of. But that's okay. It's all part of the sacrifice we make for art. It's especially okay if they don't know about it in the first place. That makes sense, right? I've got 3 solid tips that are going to help you get the stuff you need and keep the peace on the home front. Because let's be honest, that shaker end table that you're building, that's a stupid reason to end up sleeping on the couch. Tip number 1, bundle your purchases. Now the idea here is very simple. You want to combine stuff for the shop in with legitimate purchases for your house or your family. Now for this approach to work, you have to be a little creative in your thinking. But you have to remember that lots of stores sell stuff that's good for woodworking, even if they're not woodworking stores. For instance, Walgreens Pharmacy sells my favorite superglue. It's as good as any other superglue I've used, even the expensive stuff, and I love it because you get 6 tubes for $4.50. It's a really good price. So every time I go down to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription or buy some aspirin, I throw some superglue in the bag. With all the other stuff that's mixed in there, honestly, the wife doesn't even notice and doesn't really care. You probably don't think about the auto parts store when you're doing woodworking projects, but that's another place where you can pick up some great supplies and mix them in with other things. For instance, pretty much every woodworker I know uses high-quality automotive wet or dry sandpaper to rub out their finishes. And you might not know it, but fiberglass resin actually makes a fantastic wood filler, and it's a lot cheaper than epoxy. So every time I go down to the auto parts store to pick up some wiper blades or some antifreeze, I stock up on a couple other things too. Oh honey, I got the expensive wiper blades and yeah, I know they cost a lot of money, but they'll last a whole year. Yeah, I give that speech like once every 6 months. Totally works. And of course, the real trick is being able to buy stuff from the home center while still having your purchases go undetected. Because that's where you can get the really good stuff you need, like fancy clamps or maybe a new drill driver. The problem is those are the sorts of purchases that are the hardest to hide because they cost so much. So you have to wait and be patient. Wait until you're picking up a big ticket item, like a new lawnmower or a kitchen sink. Then you can slide a few of those extras in. And because you're buying something that's expensive anyway, a little bit extra is probably going to go unnoticed. Now I know what you're thinking, but Rex, what about the receipt? Man, receipts get lost. It happens every day. Tip number 2, in as cash, out as cash. Now your spouse is a lot like the IRS. They get to see your finances, but only what's on paper. So it's important not to leave a paper trail. For instance, let's say that you just sold that salad bowl that you turned on the lathe. Nice work, by the way, that looks great. Now, you got paid in cash for that piece of work, but don't put that cash in the bank like some chump. No, keep it on the side, in a place that only you know about. That way you've got it the next time you need to make a purchase for yourself. Then you have untraceable funds for your necessary purchases. Now, you can't spend money online, but that's okay. Not only can you spend cash at any store, you can also take it to estate sales, tag sales, flea markets, and antique stores. I've also lived all over America, and every place I live, Craigslist has been an excellent source for both tools and wood. And those are all cash transactions. So when you get those things and you pay cash, everybody stays happy. Tip number 3, eBay plus PayPal equals mind your own business. Everybody I know uses eBay, and everybody uses PayPal. But PayPal isn't just a convenient way to pay for stuff online. It's also a bank account. An awesome bank account. Because they don't send statements and they don't send mail that some nosy person might open accidentally. PayPal only communicates with you via email. And if your husband has access to your email account, then you've got problems I cannot help you with. So, sell something on eBay, get the money into your PayPal account, and leave it there. Then, when you need to buy something, use the money in your PayPal account, and no one needs to know about it. It's like a closed loop of money. Now, you do have to deal with deliveries, and those can be difficult to conceal, but there are ways around this problem. Get a calendar and use it creatively. Remember birthdays and holidays. Cluster your purchases around those special times of the year when a lot of packages might be coming in. And if your spouse gets too curious, just say, "Honey, I wouldn't be too nosy right now if I were you. You know there's a special day coming up." And there is a special day coming up. New Tool Day. So let's summarize what we've learned. You want to cluster your purchases. Keep your cash as cash. Watch your paper trail, and use your online resources creatively. If you do all of these things, you can get the stuff that you need for your shop and keep everybody happy at home. And that's really what we're all looking for. Now look, this video was half serious and half fun, but as I wrap up, let me say something that's all serious. As a professional furniture maker, I have good months and I have bad months. Sometimes I make a lot of money, sometimes I don't make much. But my wife always has a good month because she goes to a regular 9-to-5 job and brings home a steady paycheck. She also brings home the health insurance that I need and my daughter needs. And I really appreciate that. Because if it weren't for her and her incredibly supportive attitude towards my business and towards YouTube, I wouldn't be down in this shop and I wouldn't be on this screen talking to you right now. So Angela, thank you very much. This video is dedicated to you. So thank you. And everybody who's watching, thanks for watching.